sometimes I wonder how things will be. Will I continue to think about you while you just sometimes think about me? Sometimes I wonder, should I give you my all? Well, I guess I'll think about it while I'm waiting for you to fall, because sometimes I wonder, will you fall for me? Or am I just another pastor-looking handsome type of G? See, at this point, I think it's safe to say that I have been inspired. Inspired to have you be the topic of discussion in which I may not speak but allow my heart to control the percussion. What? You see, for unexplainable beyond definition is the way that I describe your smile.
I just can't stay around with all your foolish games. It's like a miracle I've made it this far, and you say you won't keep lying. Well, I know you will. It's like a cycle, and still you keep pulling me down, 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 lower than I've ever known.
Try it on your own, falling on your face. Life is a crazy road, we all need faith.
That loves deeper and darker than caves, caverns. A thick love, a savage love. Love that makes a home. Love that makes a human. It is you.
I know I'm not ashamed, but the guilt will kill ya if she don't first. I wanna touch you, but that just hurts. When will we get the time to be just right? When will we get the time to be just friends, just friends?
They usually give gifts to each other, and they give each other dumb gifts. Make sense? A dog or a rat? You're sure? I think that somebody has made a mistake in the classification. Anyway, back to the story. So, when he puts it in like banging at the trunk, he should start calling for help. And he starts, and then eventually somebody comes and helps him out, etc., and he takes the gift also to his friend. What is the moral of the story? Don't do stupid things.
I'm telling you things so far ahead. I'm thinking for forever.
No, I don't like you, I just thought you were cool enough to think it. Got a beach house I could sell you in Idaho. Since you, I don't love you, I just thought you were cute. That's why I kissed you. Got a fighter jet, I think it's a fly that off the line. Now I'm thinking about you, you know, no, I've been thinking about you, you know, no, I've been thinking about you. Do you think about me still?
I've been thinking about you, the way you shut your eyes, the way you sigh, the way you Inhale, exhale, how it is beautiful. I've been thinking about you while you're thinking about her, how life might be if I were her. How could I forget the way you smiled when I brought her up? How easy it was for you to get caught up in describing in detail how perfect she is. Excuse the mess, I've done my best to dress it up. But you're not here, you're with her, I'm stuck in California rain. It's hot and the clouds bubble low. It always feels like this when I go, like the sickening feel of not being normal. It doesn't rain in California, but around you, it pours. See, it's not like I'm stuck in this friend zone, it's more like it's all I know. So I claim the friend zone like it's some kind of paradise. I'm content to be in your sideline. If anyone asks, I'll deny it all. I used to live in Technicolor, but it just turned black and white.
After a long night of drinking, jumped in the car and started it up. After a couple of minutes, an old man appeared in the passenger window and tapped it lightly. The passenger screamed, "Look at the window! There's an old ghost face there!" The driver speed up, but the old man's face stayed in the window. The passenger rolled his window down partly and scared out his wits, said, "What do
In
you
the
want?"
beginning, it's all about a mental, emotional, and spiritual connection. A connection that goes far beyond your being and into something much more wonderful. But then that connection wears off. And the relationship grows into a physical connection of touch and kiss and lust. So you throw yourself into that connection, neglecting any other type of connection. You no longer speak to each other about what's on the heart. Instead, you speak to each other through the kissing of lips. You no longer touch each other's soul. Instead, you're touching limbs and bones and skin. Eventually, you get so tangled up in the physical being that the emotional, mental, spiritual being has altogether disappeared. And once the physical connection wears off, you're left with a dying connection of the mental, emotional, and spiritual. You're left dying with a longing to live.
At 20 years old, my brother visited me at university, telling me all about how he quit his paying job to make money, running the BC streets with his crew, who he calls family now. I've mourned all along.
You cannot choose not to know what you know. Everything we claim to know as answers, or every claim that we make, are answers to a given question. So you may have questions without answers, but you cannot have answers without questions. So in life, there are so many questions that have not been answered as yet. It is in the context of the question that answers have some relevance. But many times we get too dogmatic about our answers, when in reality we should be worried about the relevance of the question. So if you put emphasis on the relevance of the question, then you will not be as dogmatic and over your answers, because your answers are always subject to revision. You all grow. The questions remain the same. Now, why is this important in an academic environment? In an institution like yours, where you come to CUC or public university or any education institution, be part of that search to understand the question. So if you go to any class, if your questions are, the relevance of the question is established, then you, along with the teacher, can look for the answer.